Okay, everyone, I think I am back. If you can hear me, say so in chat, would you please? Okay. Again, sorry about that, some technical issues. So we will get right back to where we were. So give me just a few minutes to reset. Literally had a freeze up, had to reboot the whole system, which kind of sucks. I was having this problem the other day and worked fine all night last night when I was messing around with it. So I'm not quite sure what happened. So we'd done the volcano, we'd done the earthquake, we'd done the hurricane, and that's what crashed me, actually. Go figure. So next, let's take a look at, oh, wait a minute. The next thing was question and answers. So I guess that's where we are now. So I will turn over here and look at the comments. So bear with me on this one. I'm doing my best. So you got any questions? You want to know anything specific? Put it in the comments. Maybe if you capitalize it, it'll pop out a little bit better to me. So, yeah. Are we still having some type of problem? Oh, I guess people are still on the old feed. It looks like, okay. So, anyways, so yeah, question and answers. Hello, Rhode Island. Am I a Gator or a Seminole fan, Paul? Actually, neither, to be honest with you. Never really was into sports that much. Well, I don't know. I can't see anybody other than what you type, KDS. Do any geocaching there? Hi, Brass Rose. No, actually, I haven't. I have looked into that. And there's some things here, which I think would be interesting. I don't know. I've got so much that I like to do and want to do that it's hard finding time time to do everything. Where am I from in Florida, Paul? Originally Tampa Bay area. Pretty much grew up, all around Tampa Bay area, all over Florida. Spent some time in Georgia too, which was nice. Hello, Virginia. Hello, Iowa. What is happening with the hurricane? Pretty much for the Big Island, over here on the east side, just getting some wind and rain, nothing severe. West side, pretty much the same thing, a little bit more wind there. Hilo is the one that's getting a lot of the rain right now. The other islands, I'm not sure exactly what's happening there, but looking at the radar, pretty much just a lot of wind. The big heavy stuff is still way offshore, which is good. That's a good question about the black sand at Pohoiki and the hurricane. I'm sure the surf and the tides and all that are going to really move that stuff around. We're just going to have to wait, to see what we've got when we got it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still reading the comments. Will the lava river fill with hurricane rainwater? Probably not. There's lots of cracks and pores and stuff. Believe it or not, lava rock tends to drain water pretty well. Yeah, I saw some images thanks to Scott over at Pahoa Tours that did Rainbow Falls, and yeah, it was just raging there. Amazing. Yeah, Irma was bad. Hi, Washington. Thanks for you being you. It's actually a Dutch Gamer. It's actually a photo. Sorry, I set up a few little things to transition by, um, or transition through for y'all to look at. Here, actually, let's watch the fissure rate flyover from August 17th while we chat. Yeah, Brass Rose. Scott's a good guy. He has done a lot of promotion for me, and I really appreciate that. Sue Hayes, that's actually down in Waipio Valley, the Black Sand Beach there, looking to the north, what would be northwest direction. Um, why do we call them hurricanes and y'all call them cyclones? Is there an actual difference? That's a good question. I don't know if there's any actual difference. I know they're basically the same thing, and I think it's just a distinction between the hemispheres. Hurricanes in the northern hemisphere, cyclones in the southern hemisphere. But I also know over here in the Pacific, they like to call them or not cyclones, but gosh darn it, I totally forgot the word. Hi, Rosa Hernandez. Scott's the only reason why I know you know about me. Well, cool. I'm glad he was able to help. Typhoons. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Looking for. No, monsoons is just the heavy rains that happens uh, once a year over in other places. But typhoon was the word I was looking for. Actually, thank you. Do we know when the hurricane is coming? Dutch Gamer. Well, yeah. I mean, radar, satellite imagery lets us know when they're forming. Usually, most places, even Florida, you get a good week or 2 weeks, to prepare and watch it, and so it's kind of like the volcano in a way. Sometimes with a hurricane, it's a slow-moving disaster at first until it hits, and then it goes by pretty fast. Hello, Kentucky. Yeah, this is actually the second stream. The first one we had some technical issues with. Hi, Beverly. You want to see the flyover again? Okay, I can do that. Yes, Scott and Noy are both my neighbors. Both of them are absolutely great people. I can't believe how lucky I am to be surrounded by people like them. Do I think the Hilo airport will be open Monday night? Um, I don't know. It all depends on the storm. If it moves closer to us, probably not. If it moves away, maybe. I would suggest checking out their website or calling them for more information. Oh, that was really nice of your husband, Brass Rose. Hey, Paul, how do you get the volcano map superimposed on Google Earth? It can be a little complicated unless you're kind of tech oriented, but you got to go to the USGS GIS servers and basically download the KML or KMZ files and import them in. Hi KDS. And Linda in Kentucky. It rains on and off, but sorry KDS. What kind of camera do I use? Currently I have the Nikon, what is it? The Nikon, hold on, it's right here in front of me. Let me take a look. See, it's Nikon 3400, I think, or 3700. Nope, 3400. Nikon 3400 DSLR. Hi Dutch Gamer. Could I put background music in? I could, but I'm afraid that if I try to modify my current system right now, that it might crash again. So I apologize for any awkward silences. Yes, KDS, it does take pretty good pictures, and this is my first DSLR, so there's a little bit of a learning curve there, but I'm working some great stuff to put up on my SmugMug and doing, or my SmugMug and Redbubble platforms. But I just, with all the videos and the hurricanes and the volcanoes, it's just hard to really focus on any one thing. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate that. So, okay, let's go ahead and move on. Lava still oozing in the ocean. There's a few little fingers oozing out, but nothing significant. It's just the flow field still deflating. Red mug and bug mug bubble. That's actually quite funny. What is going on with volcano? Nothing. Dutch Gamer. It's all quiet for now. There's no signs of reactivation or any magmatic movement under the surface. No collapses. Just some general earthquakes. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. Okay, so what we're going to do now, though, is move on to the next session. If I still see questions in the comments, I will answer them, so keep it coming. But we're going to move on to the special look at that there revisit. A viewer requested it. It deals with Poiki and the turtles. So let's go ahead and refresh everybody's mind. This is the photo in question. I included it in a look at that there segment in one of my previous videos, and I spotted a turtle in the nice little protected lagoon area, and so I prepared another image. So first of all, if you look at the top left in that circle, that is the turtle that I spotted. A lot of people commented that there was a second turtle there, which I've circled what I believe they were referring to on the bottom right. Now, the one on the top left is definitely a turtle. There's no doubts about that. The one on the right looks like to be a much larger turtle, and it would be much deeper, which make it even larger than what it appears compared to the turtle on the left. Oh, and by the way, I did alter this photo a little bit. I increased the contrast and did a small sharpening on it just so we could get a better look. The second turtle, the bigger turtle on the bottom, I don't really think is a turtle. I think it's a rock. It just happens to be catching the light. It's in a very low spot, almost looks like a little hole there in the Poiki Bay area. Could be a turtle, but I think it's not. There's a just that ridge line that goes down the middle towards the top, which comes to a point, just doesn't look like the way a turtle shell would be shaped. It's more like a sharp edge rock. However, there is one thing I want to point out too. If you look to the right of the first turtle at the top left, if you look to the right of that, you see those two white splots on the screen there. I think those are actually fish, and it looks like they may be running away from the turtle. So there you go for the viewer. I can't remember your username, but you wanted to officially doubt the turtle, and I think you were referring to the second turtle. So I agree with you. I don't think that's a turtle. However, if you're referring to the first turtle on the top left, that is absolutely a turtle. There's no doubts about it. And he's got this whole lagoon apparently to himself, unless that's a bigger turtle down there on the bottom. Okay, so that is the look at that there. As I said earlier in the video, this was kind of a test. So I really don't know what all I was going to do or how I was going to do it. But before I do in the stream, let me see if I can bring the maps back up. So give me just a moment, and we'll see if we can get that going. It shouldn't be a problem. I just got to not play around with the map too much. That seems to be what always causes it to crash and lock up my system for whatever reason. Just gonna make a few adjustments so we know what we're looking at. But I tell you, doing a live stream and trying to do all this at once can really teach someone how to multitask. Okay. Sorry guys, a few more clicks here so I can get rid of some of all this extra stuff they put on there that kind of clutters it up. Okay, I think we got it. There we go. Okay. By the way, this is current as like the last 5-10 minutes of radar imagery and all that stuff. As you can see, this big white blob is the main storm. This is one of the trailing bands. And as you can see, it's kind of elongated the storm as it hit the island. It's almost like the big island causes these things to shear off one of their arms as it passes by. It's pretty cool watching the interaction, between the storm and the landmass. So let's take a look at the comments again and see what's been going on there. Russell 3380, yes, the entrance to that ramp has been fully blocked. Nothing can come in and out of there. I don't know if the actual lagoon has filled in, but it's a possibility with the storm passing by. Patty Mendler, what is the possibility of the hurricane triggering another eruption? Very unlikely. Volcanoes aren't really triggered by storms. They're triggered by magma pressure buildup, earthquakes, and other land movements opening up channels for the magma to erupt. Thank you for the compliments, everyone. I appreciate that. I'm trying my best. At least I hope this is entertaining for you. How much land was added to Hawaii? From Jim Jarvis. That's a good question. I really don't know. I know it's a lot. I mean, that's just, the simple to it. The entire Pahoa Bay has been filled in at least 3 times over. The whole coastline going down to Pohuiki and Isaac Hale Park, that's all been added to and resurfaced. So if we look just at the coastline, there's hundreds, possibly even thousands of acres that's been added. It's a good question to ask I don't know who you'd ask. Maybe USGS might have that answer somewhere. I know they have an email link on their website that you can send questions to. They also answer questions on Facebook and I believe their Twitter as well. Actually, it is the even bigger island of Hawaii. But what's really cool fact about this, though, is with Kilauea being on the east side of the east side of the island is growing. However, if you go to the west side of the island, there's lots of cliffs there and erosion taking place. So for what land we gain on the east side, we're losing land on the west side. Yeah, I believe Maui's volcano is still potentially active. Actually, Mauna Kea, where the observatories are, is not an extinct volcano. It's just dormant, so it could potentially erupt as well. Rosa, actually, no, I am not a tour guide. I've been asked that a few times. I never even considered that career opportunity. I'm more of a tech person, actually. Thanks, Robin. I appreciate that. And hello, Arizona. Diamond Head definitely extinct. I really don't know. I don't know a lot about the volcanoes on the other islands, but I know the further away you get from the the source, the more likely they are to go extinct. Mahalo, Gypsy. Appreciate that. Hello, Oz. So where is Oz? Carrie Gale. Hi from Oz. Ooh, East Coast, Rhode Island. Hello. Um, what brought me to Hawaii? You know, Taz, that's actually a very good question. Uh, what brought me to Hawaii? Hawaii did. I'd actually traveled the Caribbean, but I don't want to talk too much about this because this is actually a story that I'm going to do a talk video on for my Patreons over on my Patreon page. But just to give you a little idea is that I traveled the Caribbean searching for something, couldn't figure out basically what it was, but whatever it was, apparently I found it in Hawaii because, you know, I've been here since I visited. Yes, Scott is actually a tour guide. No wizards in this Oz. That's okay. I think all the officials have gone mad, you know, around the world. Uh, doesn't matter what country you're in. No, you're welcome, Gwen. That's actually pretty cool. I was pretty nervous when I first started this, and but the nerves wore off. Okay, actually, let's take a look instead of just staring at this. Oh, Jay, that's actually an interesting idea. But I'm sure they probably already have their own people just waiting to do that. All right, let's turn this off. I'm going to zoom in here. Let's see what the current weather state in Leilani is. Okay, where is Leilani Estates? Oh, but it's right there. Okay, can't see it because the rain's in the way, but this area right here is Leilani Estates. This is current rain band coming through. This is upper Leilani here, and this is lower Leilani over here, which is where all the flows went through up in this direction. So you know, as for the rain, what you can see what we're getting with the rain from Hurricane Lane is these bands come in right here. They moved this way, and then you know we get a break, which you can see one here and the one before this one, and then we get another one come in after it. And so just like they do in Florida, you know, you get these rain bands come in, and as they approach Mauna Loa over here, you see how they break up, and they're all just moving right here over the Hilo and North the Homakua coastline. You know, and funny, and over here in Kona, you know, they're relatively dry. It's pretty cool how that works. I don't know, LJ. Scott hasn't mentioned anything to me about that, but it is possible. 9.6 square miles of coverage. Okay, so Megan, is that coverage of all the land or just what's exited the coastline? Do you know? Okay, according to Cornland Wasteland, 725 acres of new land that used to be the ocean. Huh, that's a lot of new acreage. Now, if anybody's wondering who owns all that new land, the state does. It basically gets taken into custody of the state. Now, anybody that owns land that's under the lava flows, they still own that land. Unless, of course, you know, the county or somebody, you know, offers to buy it from them, then they can sell it. Hi, Jan. How's Australia this time of year? Well, Keith, yeah, everything's pretty good with me. Just moving from one potential disaster to the next. You know, we've had one volcano and two possible hurricanes. So, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. And I'm glad you're able to catch my live stream. Scott, he's sporadic, but he does a lot more than I do, so I'm sure you'll catch one of his soon enough. LJ, no, not yet. Insurance companies here have to operate under a law. They're not allowed to drop your policy or cancel your policy for basically anything other than non-payment. So as long as you make your payments, your policy stays in effect. Now, I don't know how that law will apply to renewals, but I'm sure when it comes to a renewal, I don't think the law will force them to renew you. So I think that's what's going to be the biggest issue with insurance companies in Lava Zone 1 and possibly even Lava Zone 2 as we move on, you know, further away from, you know, all this stuff with the eruption. Yes, Rosa, Scott is a very early bird. Paul, that's a good question. The guy who owns the land under Fissure 8, actually, from what I understand, there's a couple people that may own Fissure 8 because it goes across multiple properties. However, I have no idea what the county or the state's going to do or they'll do. If I owned it, gosh, what would I do? I don't know if I'd sell it or not. I might want to keep it. I doubt I would ever rebuild on it, but it would be a cool little place to go visit, every few times or a couple times a year just to see how it changes. But that's just the way I work. KDS, you're more than welcome for all the info and updates. It's actually kind of therapeutic for us. It gives us something to do and share with y'all, which helps distract us from what's happening basically in our backyards. Hey Paul, do I watch the guy who does HIS? Yeah, that's Gabe. Yeah, I watch his videos occasionally. I'll admit I don't watch every last one of them. Who has the time? I mean, it's just, but I do try to watch a lot because, everybody has a great perspective, and I love seeing other people's perspective on things because it really helps give me a fuller picture of what the truth of everything really is. Hi, Scott. Has Helco started reading power meters yet? No, they haven't. And no, they're still not coming into the area. Now that the eruption is in a long pause, there is talk between Helco and Civil Defense about going in and restoring power to the mandatory zone that hasn't been damaged, but we don't really have any information on that yet. And with the hurricane coming through, a lot of these departments are basically have shifted gears, to deal with the hurricane stuff, and basically not even talking about the eruption anymore. Unless, of course, something changes, then of course they'll pick back up. Other than Tech LJ, actually, I like a lot of everything. I'm a perpetual student. Anything that I can learn or learn from or even share, I like to do. So I love tech. I love science. History's pretty cool sometimes. I enjoy photography, artwork. I'm also adventurous. I love going riding the four-wheelers, out on the lava flows and up at the ATV park and stuff of that nature. So really just a little bit of anything, as long as it sounds fun and is interesting. I think I'm getting this name right. It's either Desire or Desiree. Good question. Why is Upper Leilani called Upper Leilani? Because it's actually kind of upslope. The west side of Leilani Estates is actually at a higher elevation than the east side. We're up on the slopes of the Kilauea Volcano. Hey Brass, as for my full-time employment, I'm a little bit lucky in that respect that the volcano hasn't affected me that much. I mean, it has affected me because obviously, I've had to take time off and things like that to deal with some of this stuff and other complications, that's occurred. So it does affect me to a certain point, but I've been very lucky I'm in that small percentage of people that has been less affected. Which is why I've tried to do my best to, help and give back to all those that have been severely affected. Gosh darn it, this chat isn't very friendly. Paul, a hui ho or whatever. I think it's something like so long or something like that. I really don't know, but I know what you're talking about. It's actually I forget what his name is, but Captain Steve or something. He does one of the lava boat tours. He says that in some of the videos he does. Hi, Barbara from PA. I'm glad you enjoyed a look at that there. It's actually kind of fun to do. I love looking at photos myself and picking out that odd thing in it. Brass Rose Mahalo, thank you. I wouldn't necessarily say I was a good guy or a bad guy. I'm just a person that, sees something that needs to be fixed, and I try to fix it. Hi, Daniel. Yeah, I know I need a moderator. So if there's any idiots out there in the chat, because I'm not quite catching everything, 'cause there's a lot to read, just ignore them. The Stimpy, a one percenter? You're referring to me as being a one percenter? Well, no, I'm not. I'm the furthest thing from that. But if you're talking about someone else, I can't speak for them, of course. Hi, Allison. Well, you're more than welcome to join us if you can't catch Scott live. Oh, okay, the Stimpy. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess in that respect, I would be a one percenter. Actually, but there's a little bit more than that. I think there's maybe 5 to 10% of people in Leilani that wasn't severely affected. I mean, it's complicated our lives, but we've been really lucky. We've been able to stay in our homes, but it's most of us up here at the upper or the west side of Leilani. It's really weird. There's like been this bubble over this little area. We haven't had to deal with a lot of sulfur. We had a little bit of tephra in Pele's hair. Our biggest problem that we've had is the acid rain. I desire. Yeah, that video I drove, that was from McKenzie State Park, driving north on, what is it, 137, I think it is the name of that road. If I don't have the maps in front of me, sometimes I just forget what the names are. But yeah, north and then around the Isaac Holly Park, and then back up west on Poiki towards Pahoa. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And all that area, it was beautiful as you saw in the video, to drive. It's just now it's going to be this flat black landscape with fringes of trees way off in the distance around the edges. Hi, Linda. The couple I interviewed, Vladimir and Vanessa, they're doing great. Thank you for asking. They're actually doing their own thing, trying to get back to normal. They've actually been on the other side, which would be the south side of Leilani from me. They are actually have had to deal with the sulfur a little bit more than I have, but it hasn't been too bad for them. You can't say 2018 has been uneventful. Gypsy, you're absolutely right. This has been one of the most active years that I've had to experience here in Hawaii. Well, I guess when I say active, I mean activities outside my control. Daniel, you're more than welcome. I try to keep y'all informed as much as I can. But it's kind of interesting, by me sharing with y'all, it actually helps me learn more about and push myself to learn more than what I already know about it, because sometimes y'all come up with some really good questions, and I look at the comments and I'm like, wow, how do I answer that, and because that's a really good question. So if I can find the answer, I'll try. Chris Woods, yes, the acid rain can't eat holes in the metal roofs. If there's any scratches of the external coating, the rust protection coating, they'll start to rust almost immediately. Thank you, Stimpy. We're glad the hurricanes missed us also. Okay. Boy, this could go on forever, sitting here looking at y'all's comments and responding. Keith, that's a very good question. Yes, flooding and displaced people due to flooding and things of that nature can stretch the emergency resources even further, or thinner, as you stated. I know FEMA has been contacted by the governor or whatever, and I'm sure that they'll provide some more services, and actually probably be a little bit more efficient because FEMA knows how to deal with hurricane issues. FEMA, in one report I heard that FEMA admitted that basically this whole lava eruption and volcanic stuff was all new to them, and they really had to write new policies in order to deal with some of it. So it's interesting how this volcano has taught a lot of people, including the people that's supposed to be already prepared for this new stuff themselves. Oh, Kathy, sorry about that. But yeah, I have a bad habit when I'm out and stuff, and I want someone to look at something. I do say, "Ooh, look at that there," and they just kind of look at me funny sometimes. Hi, Shelly. I'm a Southern boy. Yeah, I'm from Florida, born and raised. Nope, is Webweaver giving us a problem? Let me see. How do I? Oh, here. We'll do this. We'll put Webweaver in a timeout. So Webweaver, behave yourself. Don't be disruptive. Oh, let's actually take a look at the storm. We've been watching the rain over the Big Island. All right, so yeah, here's Lane. Or at least the rain on Lane. And yeah, look at that. The eye looks even more westward of the track now. So that's good. So it's moving on this. I would say that it's going to probably, I don't know. My opinion is that here before tomorrow morning, I think we'll probably see more of a westerly turn versus the northern route. I know they're between 8 p.m. Thursday and 8 a.m. Friday. They've got it turning a little towards the east as it moves northward. But I don't think that's going to happen. But we just got to wait and see. Melissa, slow mode basically means that you can only post a comment every 60 seconds. But actually, I think I've turned that down to 30 seconds. So you've got to wait at least 30 seconds between chat messages to post a new chat message. I turned that on to basically slow people, spammers and things like that down. Like that one guy that we just put on a timeout. Last reported category, according to what I'm seeing here on the screen, because the projected cone and spots pegs it as the last official update was a category 4, but it's possible they may have put out a preliminary update and downgraded to a 3. I really don't know. I've been too busy talking to y'all to look at this information. I'm sorry, Melissa. What is the question you keep posting that I'm overlooking? Put it in caps. No, Stimpy, I don't think you're mean. I know, I'm a humorous person too, and one thing I learned a long time ago is that humor doesn't always translate in text messages because of loss of context. Come on, Melissa. I'm still waiting for that question I'm overlooking. Oh, Cornland, there's no way I'd be on a cruise ship during something like this. I've seen videos from people that were, and those poor people. Rizlock, thank you. Yeah, the Mongoose is great. Okay, Melissa. Aloha from Hawaii. And you're from Pasadena, Cali. She says, when the storm's done, will you go look at that crater and tell us if it is a new lake? Well, unfortunately, I can't get into the crater to look for myself, but I will keep an eye out for new videos from the USGS Civil Defense or anywhere else that may have an aerial shot. And we will look at that there and see if there's a lake. And it's possible because we have Green Lake out at Pahoa Crater that formed over time. So I'd say the possibility of Fissure 8 turning into some type of pond or lake like that is a 50-50. Keith, thanks for that. I appreciate that update from the National Hurricane Center. For everybody that may have missed in the comments, he said that the Hurricane Center is saying that the path of Blaine is tied to its intensity. The quicker it weakens, the sooner it turns west. National Hurricane Center think they may have overstated weakening thus far, but now it's down to Cat 3. Enviro Designs, is crime on property of great concern if you want to return to the mainland for 3 months? Well, unfortunately, crime here on the Big Island is a little bit of an issue sometimes. And during events like this, when areas are evacuated, looting does become an issue. If you're in an area that wasn't affected by the volcano and you want to leave, I don't think it'd be too much of an issue. I definitely would have an alarm system and, make sure you're really good with your neighbors because your neighbors is really the first line of defense in that respect. However, if you're in one of the affected areas right now, we have limited protection with the roadblocks and checkpoints and stuff like that. But once they get lifted, there's going to be bigger issues. And that's the question. We don't know when they're going to lift them now. Do I have a drone? Actually, I do have an aerial drone, but it doesn't work. The compass is shot. It's a generation 1 back from the very beginning. I don't even really know if it will fly, and the batteries are probably bad now as well. I need to get a new one, and so that's why I started the Patreon page. to try to, generate some resources so I can get the equipment and things that I need so I can really go show the island as it should be shown. Because they're just, some areas, the beauty can't be truly appreciated from ground level. You have to see it, from at least, 15, 20 feet up. Hey, Paul. Yeah, Ahalo Nui Beach Park area. Yeah, where we had our warm ponds. Yeah, that was a great place. A lot of families celebrated a lot of family activities there, birthdays, things of that nature. It was a beautiful place to see. But it's gone. But it's interesting you bring that up because I've always had the question in my mind is okay, that spring is still there and it's hot water, so we know it's got some pressure behind it, a little bit anyways. So it's very possible that at some point it could break through the lava flow, because water's tenacious. It'll find a way to get through any crack or little crevice to get to where it wants to go. So it's very possible we could end up with a warm spring right out of fresh new, lava ponds that may form, over there over time. But again, we're just gonna have to wait and see, because we won't know what we've got until we got it. Yes, Russell. With the storm, there has been nothing but the sound of rain and wind. There has been no helicopters, and it's been very, very nice. Okay. Okay, everybody. I think I'm going to call it quits for now. We've been doing this for about 53 minutes, and I did have the first one that crashed out on me. So I need to take a break. I'm getting a little tired of sitting here. Enjoying talking to y'all, looking at your comments, and sharing the hurricane and everything with y'all. I appreciate you joining me. And I'm going to, I got some plans for some other videos I've mentioned before. One where I'm going to go back using Google Earth and the overlays, and we're going to take a look at areas in Leilani that were affected in the order of the date that they were affected. And we're going to put that together with footage and video and pictures that I have. I've talked to Scott from Pahoa Tours. He said that he would give me access to his portfolio of images and videos as well to use in that project. So I will have images of before, thanks to Google Earth. I will have images of during. However, because of the lockdown on Pomokai, I won't have any real images of after until they lift this thing. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to deal with that, but I'm still going to do that project. The second little project I'm going to do is a 10-minute videos of look at that there, completely dedicated to look at that there. And we're going to go over the entire archive of both USGS, Civil Defense, personal archives of mine, personal archives of Scott's, and hopefully maybe I can get a few other people to let me use some of their stuff too, but we'll see. So that's basically the update. Don't forget to support me over on my Patreon account. Links to all these things can be found in the description, as usual. Check out my Smug Mug and my Redbubble, some good stuff there. And that'll do it for tonight, people. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. And you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening.